Hi! Today I'm going to do a 2018 yearly favorites makeup specific video. I didn't want to include skincare just because I've already gone over a lot of my favorites in my last skincare routine, so I didn't want to be too repetitive. It was definitely the year of like feathery brows, bold eye looks, nude lip, dewy skin, and so many eyeshadow palettes came out this year. So I think that this year is the year that I really was sold on primer. Before it was kind of something where I'm like, oh, it's expensive, do I really need it? And I think that primer is something that's really specific to you. It depends what you want to accomplish with it. Like if you have dry skin, you want a moisturizing primer. If you want to minimize pores, if you want to minimize redness, if you want to control your oil production. So for me, I usually use hydrating primers because I tend to get really dry around my nose and on my chin. And this year, my two favorite primers are actually not necessarily for dry skin. They're not hydrating. The first is the Hourglass Mineral Veil, and this one I haven't ever bought the full size. Sephora always has these as like things you could get with a promo code or with your points, so I have gone through a lot of these, and the TATCHA Silk Canvas Primer. So both of these are very smoothing. I love this one because I think it really does fill in your pores and leave your skin like so smooth before you go in with foundation. This is something I see a huge difference with. And with the TATCHA one, I love this one as well for those same reasons, but I also really feel like it creates a nice barrier between your makeup, and I feel like it has kind of improved my skin, and it does keep your makeup out of your pores really well. e.l.f. just came out with a dupe for this. It's called the Poreless Putty, I think, and I'm really interested in trying it and seeing if it is really similar or not, because this is very expensive, and so is this one for foundation. So this year I think that I really discovered my two favorite foundations ever. For a longwear, very like more matte than satin finish that like you can get in 50 shades coming soon. The Fenty foundation. I just went through the full size, so I only have this like mini one left right now. I love it. Rihanna changed the game with it. It's beautiful. It's like sweat proof, waterproof. It's so beautiful in the summer. It wears better than any foundation I've ever tried. It's very liquidy. It doesn't feel heavy. So my other favorite I just tried recently. Special shout out to Jackie who gave me this gift card to Sephora, and it's the ARMANI Luminous Silk Foundation. I had never tried it before because it's so expensive. It's like $64 plus tax, so that's $70 for a foundation. But I've always heard so many like amazing things about it. It's like every single person's favorite, every celebrity's favorite. Like I knew it was gonna be good, but I didn't think something could be that good. So it's like the most beautiful, I'd call it, yeah, more satin. It's like a medium coverage. I love the color as well. The color match that I got is like so good. I'm shade number 6, which is really olive, and I think it matches me really perfectly. It's so expensive. Again, I feel like almost awful recommending it, but like it's so different than anything I've ever tried. So if you have the money, if you have a gift card, like I definitely recommend it. And those are my two favorite foundations of all time now, okay? Concealer is like my favorite product. I don't know what it is about it, but I like love hoarding moisturizers and concealers. I really have so many on rotation at any point, but for me the standout one of this year is the Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. So you've seen me use this a million times. I love it. I have it in 2 shades. I actually use one of them as my foundation a lot this year. It's beautiful. It has tons of coverage, like a lot of coverage, but it's not very drying. So it's kind of like the more hydrating version of the Tarte Shape Tape if you're very into that. It's a pretty big bottle, so I've had this for like a lot of months, and again, the one that I've been using as my foundation, like that's your whole face, and I've used it as concealer. I've used it so many times and it's not out. So I think it's a pretty good value too. It's a lot bigger than any other concealer. Like for example, this is the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is another favorite, but I feel like this is an all-time favorite. It's more of like a medium coverage, but it's like the most beautiful natural finish, and it has a great shade range as well. And then something that I always have and I love because of the price point as well is the Colourpop concealer. I love this. I have a million shades of it. I've gone through a bunch and I continue to buy them. It's really high coverage. It's pretty matte, but it's not that drying. And again, it's super versatile. Okay, if you've watched my videos, this is another product that you've seen me use a million times. It's the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel. It's a bronzer. It is the most like beautiful natural color on me. I use it almost every day. I've had this for definitely over a year and I'm like halfway through it. I really like cream bronzers. That's a product that I definitely prefer a cream version of. I think it looks way more natural because it really like buffs into your skin and melts together with your foundation. That one doesn't move, it doesn't get splotchy, it won't move your foundation. It sets really nicely when you put powder over it. For blush, this has been my favorite for a long time. The Glossier Cloud Paints. I really like them because they are so versatile. There are a lot of colors. They launched new ones this year. Dusk is a very like nude kind of color, I describe it as. It's kind of brown with a little bit of pink. And then Beam is a very kind of like peach, very pure peach color. So I do like to mix them together. That's the great thing about them, is that it is kind of like customizable if you have a lot of colors and you can mix it up. But just with 2 fingers, I smile and I pat it into the apples. They do dry down, which is good. That's what allows them to stay. They don't stay super sticky, so that's another thing that I like about them. And I also really like the Flower Beauty blushes. I discovered these this year. I think they're really beautiful blushes. They have a lot of different colors. They are drugstore. Another Fenty product that I love are the Killawatt highlighters. Trophy Wife. This is so beautiful and you can use them anywhere, which is like another great thing about them. I like that one for body. This one is Hustle Baby. I like this one for my nose and like Cupid's bow highlight. And then this one is Chic Freak and Girl Next Door. This one's my favorite of them all. It is a pink. I really love it. Like, this is the evidence that I love it. It's what I'm wearing right now. And then my favorite like overall of the year is this one in Mimosa Sunrise and Sangria Sunset. I use this as a blush pretty often. I'm using it as my blush today. I wore this as an eyeshadow a lot during the summer. And I love the Glossier Halo Scope highlighters as a more dewy highlight. So most days I do prefer like a wet highlight than a shimmery one. So my 2 favorite highlighters for wet would be Glossier, and then for a more kind of like blinged out highlight, the Fenty. For brows, I have 3, just depending on what you like. For powder, this is like my all-time favorite. It's the Anastasia Powder Duo. I do prefer powder for myself. For pencil, I love the Colourpop ones. These are very affordable. And I think that brow pencils are something that like I don't really notice a difference brand to brand. So might as well get something affordable. And then for brow gel, this one was hard because Milk Makeup did launch their brow gel this year, the Kush Brow. But the Glossier one is still my favorite. This is the Glossier Boy Brow. With like feathery brows being so in, I think that this is like so perfect. It's really a pomade. It's like a very thick product, so it adds kind of like a lot of body to your brow hair. It's not crunchy, it doesn't flake, it doesn't hold your brows up, I'd say, but it does add a lot of body that stays, if that makes sense. Eyeliner. Eyeliner isn't something that I wear too often, but it is an essential, and I think that this year I discovered 2 formulas that are like very stand out to me. This one is the Marc Jacobs. They have so many shades of this. They have glittery ones, matte ones, like so many, and they stay like no other. The other one that I chose stays like no other. It's the Fenty Beauty Fly Liner. This is beautiful. It's really easy depending how much pressure you put to get like a really thin line or to get a thicker line. It's super pigmented and it does not move. On my lashes, wow, this year I discovered a mascara that I really love. Like, I think this is one of my favorite mascaras I've ever used, and it's the Hourglass Caution mascara. I got this as like a 100-point perk from Sephora, so I have not purchased it yet. But ever since I got this, I've been using it every single day. I have really straight lashes. When I'm looking for mascara, I'm looking for volume and holding curl, and this holds the curl and it just looks beautiful. It looks separated but very black. It adds volume, it adds length, and it doesn't move. Like, my bottom lashes don't melt underneath. I've been loving pairing it with a lash primer. I think this year is like the year that really became a staple in my routine, using a lash primer. I really like the L'Oreal Voluminous and the Lancome Sills Booster. And another honorable mention in mascara for me this year is the Nars Climax. This one gives a lot of volume too. I really like this fat brush. It's really easy to kind of build volume. I almost forgot something for the face, which is the Hoola bronzer by Benefit. It's this little guy. I just popped it out and have it in this palette. That's another essential for me. It is a bronzer, but it is kind of more cool tone, so it kind of doubles as a contour. I really love it for my crease, for along my nose to add back dimension after I put on foundation when I am using more coverage. I think it's a really great bronzer. So for eyeshadow palettes, so the thing is, I will only recommend something expensive if I think that the formula is unique. Like, I don't believe in buying an eyeshadow palette like, for example, Anastasia, Beverly Hills. I don't think that they have formulas that are like, wow, they're so unique. In that case, I love Colourpop. This palette is a Soul palette. I love it. I've used it a lot this year. This is like under $10. Formula, the quality is so good, and it proves that you don't really have to pay a lot for quality. So I really love Colourpop for eyeshadow palettes. They come out with one like every other week, and I've never used a Colourpop shadow that wasn't good. But on the steeper end, the Desi and Katie Francation palette. This is so beautiful. It's so versatile. The idea with it is that if you take it on a trip, this would be the only thing that you need. I really think that it is. It has such beautiful transition colors. The pops of color are so beautiful and unique. The formula is so beautiful and different. And then the big boy. This is like the real, like, damn, I'm sorry I'm mentioning this, but it is the most amazing eyeshadow I've ever used. It's the Pat McGrath Bronze Seduction palette. I've been talking about this all the time since I got it. Again, at this price point, you would expect that the formula is different, and like, it is. This is so beautiful, and there is nothing like it. I have never used something that is so like beautifully sparkly, metallic, foiled. Like, these are just unlike anything else, and if you want to treat yourself, this is the thing to treat yourself to. And lastly, we have lips. So this year, I definitely was really into the whole like nude lip trend. The Pat McGrath lip liners, incredible. I talk about them all the time. I actually lost mine, I think, so I'm gonna have to get one again. They're so good. I put it on my hand when I tried it at Sephora the first time, and it wouldn't come off with like eye makeup remover or water. It doesn't smudge. It's like the perfect lip liner because it's really gonna hold the product on top of it and not let your lipstick like run out. I love that lip liner with this lip gloss. This is the M Cosmetics True Gloss. This is in Caramel Glaze. This is beautiful lip gloss. It's not sticky, it's not heavy. It is a gel formula. It's super like cushiony. Your lips look just like full and beautiful. It doesn't settle into like your lip lines, and this color is just like a very warm sheer brown. I've also loved this e.l.f. Sheer Matte Liquid Lipstick. The Glossier lip gloss is the best lip gloss of all time. I go through them a lot. I love using it just alone or over lipsticks. It makes your lips look like glass. It's beautiful. The Colourpop lipsticks, the Luxe lips are the matte ones. This one's Get a Room. It's beautiful. There are so many shades. It's like under $5. And the one that I'm wearing right now is the Fenty Beauty Unveil. I love this formula. I love the applicator. If you haven't had a chance to try the Fenty lipsticks, I'll show you the applicator. Very unique, and it makes it really easy to like get in there and hug your lip lines. This is a really nice formula. It's comfortable, it's not drying, but it's long lasting, and I really love this color. It's unlike anything that I have, and I think it's beautiful. I love it. I love everything that Rihanna makes. My New Year's resolution is to try to be more consistent in my uploading on YouTube. I'm really grateful for the people who have subscribed, who have watched, who have shared in the last year. 2018 was a really shitty year for me, but one of the best things that did happen for me was starting this channel because it's something that I had wanted to do for a long time. I wish everybody the absolute best in health and love and everything that you need. I hope that this year gives it to you. See you next time.